Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Forrest out, and I'm looking at my camera up here again. It's down here. Look down here, Forrest. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Forrest out in St. Louis. I have an absolutely awesome, awesome guest tonight. So excited, so excited. So this is the Accountability Summit. Came up with that name last night. Couldn't quite what to come up with. This is the Accountability Summit. The reason I'm calling it that is because I'm interviewing my accountability partners. There's six of us, right, in a group,
Yeah.
and so we get to do 5 interviews this week. The first one was last night with the awesome Jock. If you haven't, dude,
Awesome.
man, whew,
Incredible. Incredible.
this story is off the chain. You got to go listen to that interview that I did with him last night. Man, in amazement to his story. It's just it's like a Hallmark freaking story. It's so cool. So cool, so cool. So absolutely. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the Accountability Summit. I'm so excited. We got so much good stuff coming up this year. Got the Makers Live event coming up in October. I know I've got a company event coming up in September. I've got another event in December. And hopefully by this time next year, all of this crazy 2020 will be a long lost memory. So what I like to do is we're going to jump off and introduce my accountability partner. She's going to have her story, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name right. Ninfa is going to share her story with us. She's going to talk a little bit about where she came from, what she's got going now, what she's excited about. Then I'm going to put her in the hot seat and ask her some really hard questions and
All right.
see where we go with that. So appreciate you. If you got value from the interview with Jock last night, feel free to jump in, tag your partners, bring your partners, because it might be an inspiration. It might be something just enough to get one of your teammates to take that leap or take that step or move out of a zone or whatever. And so let's go. Take it away. You've got the floor. Tell us your story. Where are you from? Who are you? What excites you? Give us a little background.
Awesome. Well, my name is Ninfa, and I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Forrest, for doing this. You inspire me completely. But yeah, I'm from Aurora, Illinois. It's like 30 minutes from Chicago. And I grew up as a single parent home with my mom, and I had twin brother. So we were together, and it was definitely, we were definitely poor. We weren't like wealthy or anything like that. And so my mom, she got pregnant at 19, had us at 18, 19, has around 19 years old. And I remember this story because it's funny. Well, it's good in hindsight. My mom had us at 19. She went down to a local store or a local office place to work to just do filing, just to make some money, right? Because she's young and she's got to make some cash or what have you. And the person said, when she interviewed, "You're not going to amount to anything. So why are you even doing this?" And so she walked out. Obviously she didn't get the job. So it's quite interesting because that's when she decided, you know what? I'm not going to be a statistic. So she went and got her bachelor's and master's degree, and she did do welfare for like 5 years until she could get her degree and get a decent paying job right afterwards. And so I know that welfare has its bad name and all, but it was a temporary thing that she needed at the time, and she was a woman that was willing to work her butt off to get out of that situation because she hated it. The system was it's a crazy system. So we weren't exactly wealthy. There were times we were very hungry, all of the things, but we always had what we needed, and we went to decent schools and all of that. And I just remember my mom graduating. We're like 5 or 6 years old, and we had like a graduation party at night, and it was cool. She was just, she was super excited. The thing about it was my mom was the first one to graduate college from our whole family. So she was like a trailblazer, essentially. And just a few years later, she went to actually apply at that same company, but to be the HR director. And the person that she wanted to get in the job, and the person that told her, you're not going to amount to anything. That person wound up working underneath her, which is crazy. Yeah, right? Can you believe it? And I'm like, how did you even handle that? She's like, I just went about my day. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. And she's like, I wasn't necessarily out there to prove anyone wrong, but I was out there to prove to myself that I had what it took. Just because I had kids as a single parent and all that doesn't mean my life stops. And so she's just such an inspiration. Then she went to get a master's degree. She's done way more things after that. But also during the time when we were infants and all, she had this thing called the Performing Arts Group. And my mom's a dancer and a singer and a painter. She does makeup and all that stuff. And so she decided to put a performing arts group together for the people, kids that are in high school, in the projects. And we had dancers, we had singers, actors, and all. And they would do skits and performances in our neighborhood. And eventually people started to take notice. So they started to actually ask them to perform places and them actually get paid for it. And what her her crew would say now, because they've 30 years later or what have you, of like, oh my gosh, they were like, I can't believe how much you changed my life just by being in that performing arts group. And she was like, what are you talking about? She's like, we went to neighborhoods that were wealthy and we knew what that looked like and where we could actually go and what we could actually do. And then like just the different environments that they were in that they would have never experienced if they had never joined that, that performing arts group. And they went on to get their college degree and be the first ones to get their college degree in their, family, and the first ones to get a full-time job that's paid very well and executive positions and all. And you don't think that those little things like, oh, you guys did a performance in a nice neighborhood, that would make a difference, but it did for these kids because we lived in the projects. And so it was that to be able to see what it looked like outside of our area was very important to people. So it's always cool to see, like they'll have reunions and stuff like that, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, Mickey, you changed my life. And she's like, this is crazy. So my mom is definitely inspiration for me. I grew up with my brother. He is obviously my twin brother. We're fraternal because we're not identical. He's a boy, I'm a girl, and he's like 6 foot tall. I'm 5 feet. He's very slender. I am beautifully sized, and I'm like slightly farsighted. He's slightly nearsighted. He's a naturally left-handed. I'm right-handed. He likes more vegetables. I like more meat. All the things. We couldn't be more opposite. He's like extremely outgoing. Like he walks in the room, everybody's like, hey, Carlton, how are you? And I'm like, I have no problems talking with people, but I do like a one-on-one conversation. I'm that kind of girl. So it's just like he was always very mischief as we were growing up and all. But he was a great partner to have because it showed me that you can be outgoing. You can just jump out and do things, because I was very cautious. I was a very cautious person. And so long story short, love my bro. He's out there. He actually got into this network marketing space a little bit sooner than I did. And then he actually then wound up owning his own business. So he's out in Austin. He's doing very well right now. And so, yeah, long story short, I wanted to be a recording artist, a singer. And I feel I'm very talented in that area. And along the way, bills started piling up and I needed to get a full-time job. Like, it's not a thing that you just get into. You've got to work towards it. And so during the day, I would work in the finance department. In the evenings, I would perform whenever I could and wherever I can. And then after time, it just became that I was just in the finance world. I was just constantly just working in that area. And sometimes what happens is you get stuck in your plan B. And that was my plan B, was being finance. And I got, really overweight, a lot of debt. I was feeling really down and out. And I was like, I need a change. And I happened to go to a thing called a hip hop hustle, a dance class. And I loved it. It was so much fun. And the girl said, you can buy the DVDs. I said, awesome. Let me contact you. She's like, hey, just want to let you know, these DVDs only work if you become a fitness instructor. I'm like, I ain't doing none of that. So forget it. But she's like, don't worry. I also have another opportunity, which was network marketing. You can actually work out to these programs and, help others do the same kind of deal. I said, okay, cool. And I was what we call the 80 percenter in Rank Makers when I first started out. It's been 6 years I've been in the business. So that first 5 years, I fumbled around a lot. I didn't know what I was doing. I was the learner who never did much of anything, collected information, collected stuff. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Or I would work my business for 2 weeks and then not working for like 3 months and then working for a couple of days and then not working for 6 months. Like it was just ridiculous. Or somebody sent a message that was really hater. I'd be like, I wouldn't work forever. Like I just was unconfident in what I was doing. And during that process, I found Rent Makers. I found Ray Higdon on podcast. And I love the fact that it was like 5-10 minutes, super simple, super easy. All the while I'm still going up the ladder in the finance world at work. So I do this in the evening. So I found Rank Makers, and at the time it was like one of the early entries you could get like super cheap, a lifetime access. And I was like, I'm doing that. And so I got the lifetime access. I was super excited about that and didn't do anything for 2 years. Just I watched the videos. I didn't do much in it. I just kind of like let it be. I thought it was great information. Again, me collecting data, but not doing much. Somehow I stumbled on doing the 14-day challenge, which I only did the first 3 days, but it was enough to light a fire that I needed to get into Inner Circle. And so I actually got in when Elsa got in. I didn't know her at the time. So she and I had Ryan as our coach at the time. And I was so not ready. Like I got in there, I paid my 4 figures, right? Or whatever. And Ryan was such a sweetheart. I was canceling the coaching calls all the time. If he asked me to do things, I did partial, didn't do them all. Like I was so unprepared to really do it. And I was like, wow. Somehow out of that, I got 10 customers. I was like, this is awesome, And then I, stopped doing the coaching sessions with him. I think I had a 6 or something like that. And then Elsa popped up on video talking about how she crushed it with Ryan. She asked for this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I like wasted my time. Like I just wasn't truly ready. I was ready to a certain extent to get started, but I wasn't ready to actually be full in kind of deal. But I was that little step closer, right? So a year goes by. It's now January this year. I've actually changed to a new company, still in the health and fitness area. And I joined that guided power group in January. And there's something that Elsa told me that spoke to me. So what if you worked your business for 365 days? Not just be here a year from now, but actually work it every day until you get to the end of the year. What would that look like for you? And I was like, oh, I need that. You know what I mean? And it took me a couple more months. And then I signed up for coaching again. And I got coaching from Elsa. And the biggest thing, my problem was my mindset. I didn't think I was worthy. I'm in the health and fitness and I'm not exactly trim and fit. So I thought, why would anybody sign up with me? Things like that. And she really helped with my mindset and my vision. And I was working my business like 4 or 5 days a week, which is huge for me, from going from not working at all to actually doing the business. And after the 12 weeks with her, there was a little bit of a lull. And I was like, I need some more accountability. So I contacted Marika. I was like, hey girl, do you want an accountability partner? She was like, sure. What are you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to do 100 invites a day, whatever my process was. She's like, okay, good. You're on the same page as me. Let's totally do it together. I said, sweet. Can we start a chat? And then we can just, every day I can post every day that I'm doing it and you could do the same. She's like, sure. She's like, I've been doing it with Forrest from afar, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's do that. I said, great. So we got into the chat group for a week. Me and her went back and forth. She's like, hey, I know another person. They can come join. I said, sweet, go for it. I'm like, more the merrier. She was inviting all these people. I was like, sweet. And she invited about 4 more people. And then obviously you came along, and then you got Jock in, who's our latest one who came in. But during that time, I a light was like literally lit under me. I'm doing a 1,000-day run in the business. I'm starting with 90 days. We're going to do 90 days at a time. But I'm really looking to stretch myself as a person to find, I've never been consistent with much of anything. And this is really taking me to another level of feeling like, I think this is possible. I know it's possible. And I'm doing the work every day. So I'm like, this is good. And so that's like my first kind of initial thing. And I know you're probably going to ask, but the group has been amazing because I'm working with people that are 6 months, 9 months, a year ahead of me that have been working it for every day and not just like whatever every once in a while. And it just inspires me to move forward and actually show up every day in there. I have been in accountability groups where I was the one that was the only one working. I felt lonely. I felt like nobody wants to do this. Like, why did I even sign up? Like, I didn't understand why people didn't have that drive. But I also didn't understand truly what accountability meant until I got into a high productive community. And that's when it was like, okay. And then also 100K Inner Circle is amazing. I mean, the trainings that are there every day, every week or what have you, it's like questions that you may not have asked your coach yet is already being answered, all the things. It's just all of it's incredible. So I worked with Elsa and what have you. I think I got my new company. I have 19 customers, which is kind of cool. So, but I'm just starting out. And so that's for my warm market. Now I'm working on the cold market. So it takes a little more time and more effort, but I'm excited. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much about nothing, but I'm just, I'm inspired from my mom, the fact that she, through all odds, made it happen and made sure that was food on the table, made sure we were clothed, made sure we didn't have a day where we didn't feel like, we were poor or that we didn't have enough or that, we didn't have like an education or what have you and things of that nature. So, and the fact that she, really took the time, she was patient and calm with us. And a lot of people in those kind of situations just don't behave that way. So I don't know where she came from, but she's an amazing woman. And she inspires me to be better. And so I'm really looking to prove myself that I can do this. And so that's it. That's my story, partially of it.
Absolutely, absolutely awesome. What's amazing and listening to your story is the similarity. I mean, growing up on welfare, growing up on food stamps, Coach Elsa pushed me to talk about the refrigerator. When you grew up in the project on welfare, you got a limited amount of money, and you literally go to the refrigerator, open it up, and it's empty. There's not food in there you don't like. It's empty, and you still got 7 or 8 days left till there's more money coming in. So it's up. I mean, it's not a fun place to be, but like your mom, my mom was an entrepreneur. I think that's where it sparked for me. She was constantly looking at, I want to do this, I want to do that. We live in the city project, and she's talking about buying and selling farming equipment.
Oh my God. That's
so
incredible.
That's when you have a background like that, it's amazing. But to see what's really cool about the accountability group, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this accountability summit, now that I'm calling it that, was to be able to see and hear the stories, like Jacques' story last night. And when he came in and brought him into the group as the newest guy, and to see where his numbers were at, and then see how the group pushed him. I mean, he automatically, bam, like I'm not playing big enough. I'm gonna play bigger. It just starts to ramp up, and the self confidence of how similar your story to Elsa's story. And she grew up in Argentina, and or was it Venezuela? One of those. Anyway,
that's okay.
I'm gonna have to interview one of these days. But the amazing thing about is the similarities of not just staying stuck where you're at. It's being able to move to the next position of being able to say, okay, I'm going to do this business. And just like you, I bought the Rank Makers lifetime deal and didn't do anything with it for about a year. And then I jumped in and started listening to Ray on a regular basis. And of course, Rank Makers Live, got an Inner Circle coaching, and then my business just took off from there. And then of course I get to be in really cool accountability group that you actually started with Dr. Gardner. So which is really really neat, because being in there and the sometimes being on the outside and doing stuff by ourselves, like, am I really doing enough? Am I doing too much?
Yes.
Am I the only one really doing this? And when you get in a group, you get to push, and it levels you out, and you get to see things like that. So, what are you talking to the brand new person that's just coming out the gate? They're brand new to network marketing. They're brand new to this type of business. What would you say is one of the most important things that they would do first? I mean, of course, they're in the business, they're starting up, but what would be what would you recommend would be something they would really need to do first?
The first thing for me was to actually do the work and do it daily. So, you'll learn all the things, right? The personal development you should be doing daily, following up, invites and things of that nature. But pick one of those things, which should be inviting. Let's start relief with that, right? And do it every day. Don't stop. I used to hear in my other network marketing company, be here a year from now. Don't just be here a year from now. Do the work for 365 days, and then be here a year from now. And it's going to be a whole different level of being here from now, because I was in my first company for 5 years, and I would come to the summits every year at the same level because I never did anything. But I was here. I was here the following year, and I didn't understand what it meant to be here another year. So do the work every day. And it doesn't have to be a lot, right? It could be one page of reading personal development and implementing it, one invite, one follow up, one post on social media. You're done in like 15 to 20 minutes and go to bed. Like, it does not require you to be like 4 or 5 hours a day. You know what I mean? But do the work every day for that, 20, 30 minutes a day. Show up in your business like you are a business owner, the best that you know how at that time, and do it every day and mark it off. I have a check. I have 1,000-day. I have it on my thing here, like a checklist where I check off how many days I'm on each day, just to see that I've done the work and that it's growing and that it's happening. Because you can lose sight when maybe you're not getting the results you want right away, or when you're feeling like, is this even worth it? Because it does take time. So here's the deal. One thing you must know is that it's going to take time. Effort plus time will get you the results. But just know, if you're doing the right actions and the right efforts every day, it's just like weight loss. If you move your body and eat well and sleep well at night and drink enough water every day, you may not lose much weight the first month or even the second month, but 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, you're going to see a huge change in your body. So I just say consistency is key. Do the work. Challenge yourself to do the work for 365 days. If not, just start with the first 7 days. Do it for 7 days. You've made it. You're alive. Try it for another 7 days and just kind of keep going. See what happens. And here's the deal. If you're like 3 months in and nothing has changed, well, your life is still the same as it was before. It's not like, things are changing or it's still going to be the same life that you had. Now you're just doing something extra. But if you keep going, you'll find that it will change. Things do change once you start doing personal development, all that. But be consistent, do the work. I wasted a lot of time. I could be a lot further along right now if I had just done the work. But sometimes you just have to be ready. So, but yeah, do the work. That's my.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the things that and I was actually on a coaching call with Ray, and we were talking about it was basically, don't compare yourself to what somebody is doing,
Yes.
and everything that you do should be duplicatable. And
Yes.
Somebody asked me, do I have to do a live to do this business? And no, you don't have to. But
Right.
doing a live is duplicatable. Anybody can
Right.
get on a video and talk about whatever, right? You don't have to have a magnanimous personality. You don't have to be crazy on camera. You just have to be you. Can anybody send out a prospecting message? Absolutely. Can anybody send out a tool when somebody says yes? Absolutely. So
Yeah.
the actionable steps are there to be able to do it. Now, can somebody be a prospecting beast like me or you?
Hmm.
That's debatable. You know,
Yeah.
does somebody
Hmm.
have, 6 hours on a Thursday to commit to
Right.
prospecting? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a doctor on our team who's like constantly doctors have stupid hours, but she
Yeah.
does some crazy prospecting. But she's built her business and her business building around her life rather than trying to build her life around her business.
Yes.
And one of the things that's very, very important, and I think you said this earlier, is sometimes you just have to show up and be an 80%er until you can grow slowly. It's not an
Yeah.
overnight deal. I started in network marketing 29 years ago.
Woo!
Jacques,
That's amazing.
Jacques started in network marketing 40 some years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of continuously showing up, continuously showing up, continuously showing up, continuously
Hmm.
showing up, and realize that Rome wasn't built in a day.
Nope.
A crop of corn doesn't grow overnight. Bamboo takes forever for it to even
Yeah.
sprout. And
Hmm.
all those analogies of being able to show up and realize, and one of the Ray says too is that you need to be addicted to your activity, not to
Yes.
their response. Oh
Yes.
my God! And here's what's cool about this, and I think you'll agree with this, is when you start putting out the big numbers, when you start putting out putting those messages of hope in people's inboxes, and you do the big numbers. I like to say
Yeah.
this: looking for a needle in a haystack. If you go in and you pull off 10 straws a day, it's going to take a lot longer to find that needle than if you're pulling off 100 straws a day or 200
Yes.
straws a day. And eventually, boom, there's a needle, but it's going to be a lot faster. So if you're out there prospecting and you're putting 100 messages of hope in somebody's inbox on a daily basis, you're going to find that one person that's going to say yes, right? But you've got to be addicted to that. And what's cool about it is when that one person does say yes, like me, now I did 100, I got to do another 100, because now
Yeah.
it makes you more addicted to that activity because you're getting results. So you just
Yes.
got to keep showing up until you find that sweet spot in the number. And we all
Yes.
track that. That's what's cool about the accountability group, is that we can all push each other a little bit. And, some days we come in, and of course, you're always going to get your negative people on that side that are giving
Oh
us a
yeah.
bunch of grief. But being able to have the accountability partners of pushing that. There's absolutely no way that I would have ever met you or anybody else in the accountability group if it wasn't for the internet and network marketing. I mean, there's just
True
no
that.
way. It's a whole different world. So if you're a new person and you're sitting out there and you sort of feel like you're unique, especially with all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now,
Yeah.
is if you just started in your business, find a group of people, find 4 or 5 people that aren't negative Nellies, that aren't going to
Yeah.
cry and moan and complain. I almost said a bad
Hmm.
word, that aren't cry, moan, and complain, that are going to support you and uplift you and encourage you and not let you do any negative self-talk. And the cool thing about what I liked about your story was that you said that you made the decision. It wasn't
Yeah.
somebody else pushing you, that you made the decision to take bigger action, that you made the decision to show up for 1,000 days, that you made that decision. And the cool
Yeah.
thing about it is once you make that decision, like I made the decision I was going to do a Facebook Live every single day, starting on December 27th of 2018. And I actually did, for a while, I think it was about 120 days, I did 2 days to
Woo.
really push the envelope. And it was crazy. I'm like, I'm doing 2 lives a day. And I was like, that's a little too much, so I had to back off. But the moral of that story is that if you're brand new, push yourself a little bit. It's like going to the gym. It's like doing those push-ups. Do as many push-ups as you can the first day until you just can't do
Yeah.
anymore. Try to match that the next day, then try to match it the next day. The next thing you'll know, you'll be like, wait a minute, I just did 20 push-ups and I could barely do 10 a week ago. Look at me go.
Right.
And then you're at 30, and next thing you're at 40. The same thing with prospecting. It's going to grow and grow and grow and grow. So we have been here for 29 minutes and
Okay.
36 seconds. Absolutely awesome story. So what, in terms of having an accountability group, and I know you sort of kicked this thing off. What was your, and just go back and restate why you wanted an accountability group and why someone else should get one.
Yeah, I wanted an accountability group because I needed someone to check in every day. I needed someone to know I was doing the work. And it's so important. And when I came in, I was just like, well, I'm just going to do like 25, 50 invites and all that. And once I saw everybody doing all these other numbers, I was like, we doing 100 a day, like it was crazy. And then the Recon Warriors were awesome too. Like this, it's just, I needed the accountability for someone to say, hey, I see you. Because here's the deal. People join network marketing for so many reasons. And the main reason is community. And you want to feel like you're not alone. And I felt alone because I had a vision of things that are larger than what most people think and do. And so I need to find people that were in that same orbit. And so I wanted somebody to be able to say, great job, Ninfa. And I can go, yeah, you did a great job too. Fantastic. And just feel like, oh, I know our group is like only for 90 days, but I'm like, I hope it lasts forever. But it's just like, I just needed that push. I wanted somebody to say, I see you're doing the work, and I just needed the community there, and that's super important. And the reason why I show up is because I know you guys are going to show up, and without it, I've seen what I could do without accountability. I don't do anything. Simple as that. And so also we have like little masterminds in there, like, oh, make sure you post videos in LinkedIn, or make sure you do a like on somebody's comment or something like that. Those little things are huge things you don't think about. Like, they're super simple, but when you're in it, somebody else has to kind of tell you, give you that direction. Those little masterminds are awesome. That could be a game changer on how you move forward in your business. So definitely the accountability, and definitely someone seeing that I was doing the work. And so that's it. I recommend it.
Absolutely. So the moral of the story here is, one is, if you listen to Jock's story, you listen to Ninfa's story, you're going to see there's some similarities in the path, right? And there's some completely different backgrounds, all ending up in the same place. It's two completely different journeys ending up in the same accountability group. What's funny, on the same mission. To make an impact and change lives, which is so crazy, right? So the different backgrounds. The cool thing about that is, in accountability group, and we'll close it down with this, is the cool thing about it is you're going to be able to build relationships, you're going to be able to build friendships, and you're going to be able to impact a lot more people. Because again, you can mastermind inside that accountability group. You can share scripts, you can share follow-ups, you can talk about challenges, you can overcome challenges, you can move forward. And when you come out on the other end, you're like, oh yeah, cool, I just got 3 customers because I changed my script a little bit, or I reached out to 10 more people, or whatever it is. So truly appreciate you showing up, sharing your story, because I guarantee there's somebody out there that can relate to that. And hopefully it made an impact. It's going to create a spark for them to keep showing up one more time, and then just decide to move in and realize that you're not unique out there in the world. So truly appreciate you. Thank you very much. Any closing remarks?
No, thank you so much for having me on here. I appreciate it. And for those of you guys getting started in this business, take it one day at a time, but do something in your business every day. As soon as you can prove to yourself that you can do the work, it's going to be sweet for you. So have a good one, guys.
Absolutely. So tomorrow we're going to do the Accountability Summit at 8:15. Absolutely awesome. For those of you that really want to change life, and the reason we got together is because we're part of Rank Makers. We're part of a coaching group inside of Rank Makers, but more importantly, Rank Makers Live Virtual Summit is getting ready in October. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be really impactful. If you really want to take business to the next level, highly recommend you check that out. If you want information on that, shoot me a private message. I'll get you the link to that. I don't get paid for it. It's totally nothing. It's just, I just really recommend it. So shoot me a private message to get you the link. You can go in and definitely get registered for that. Highly recommend that. So yeah, my wife says Rank Makers is absolutely amazing. So I love you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Go out, make an extreme impact, get an accountability team on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators. Really appreciate the interview. We will see you tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.
Bye.